Hey guys, this is Wrestling Fan for Life 98 version 1 and I am on the channel guys, and I am back to give you my second upload of the week then in the space of just 2 days, and that is to give you guys, well, to do my WWE Crown Jewel 2022 premium live event preview and predictions for tomorrow night's Crown Jewel event, live streaming event, the upcoming 4th Crown Jewel WWE event that is taking place over in Saudi Arabia tomorrow on Saturday 5th of November 2022 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And yes, and to do my preview and predictions, and to go over the match card again, and this is actually again the first time as well that I'm going to be, well, again, that I am doing a preview and predictions, for one of these Saudi Arabia shows, because I just never really kind of like, I guess, well, I just guess that, I never really considered, considered it to be like a pay-per-view, or a premium event, as these Saudi Arabia events and all that. But I think that with this year's, Crown Jewel, well, certainly with this one, that it looks pretty good. So, I mean, I have to say that the match card for Crown Jewel this year does look pretty good. And to be fair, I mean, Crown Jewel last year in 2021 actually turned out to be, a surprisingly quite good event. I mean, it was kind of good, a pretty decent, probably one of the more better, Saudi Arabia events that was there, last year. Well, that they had in Saudi Arabia. And it was one of the better pay-per-views of 2021 last year. I mean, when you had, Brock Lesnar return, made his return, and that's where he faced Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, was at Crown Jewel in 2021 last year, when he came back again with the whole, new look and that, Brock Lesnar, and he faced Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. So last year. And also, again, you had, that Hell in a Cell match as well. That was between Edge and Seth Rollins, which a lot of people considered that to be arguably the best kind of, like, feud that took place, that happened, a year ago. Well, in a Hell in a Cell match. In the Hell in a Cell match between Edge and Seth Rollins. So, yeah, I mean, you just kind of had, like, a few good matches, on last year's, Crown Jewel. So that I am hoping, like I said, that, again, that Crown Jewel, this year, is going to turn out, to somewhat, be pretty good. I mean, with this being, like, Triple H's, first time, of course, again, like, being in charge of Crown Jewel this year. Well, like I said, now being in charge of doing this one, since Vince again stepped down and all that. So again, it is going to be interesting. But so far, like I said, the first kind of 3 pay-per-views, I guess, that Triple H has had control of, he's done pretty well. I mean, you saw that with with how good WWE Clash at the Castle was in Cardiff in September, and then Extreme Rules only a few weeks ago also turned out being pretty good as well. Again, a solid enough event again by Triple H that happened for Extreme Rules, which Extreme Rules, as I said, the last 2-3 years hasn't really been, obviously, again, has kind of been seen as, kind of a forgettable event, really, So Triple H, did make Extreme Rules this year, I think, more, stipulation based, this year, and just more like extreme added, stipulations and all that, to the matches, Extreme Rules, because again of him having the control, him having the freedom to to do it his way. So yeah, but like I said, I mean, again, we are here, like I said, though, to talk about, WWE Crown Jewel this weekend. But just quickly, guys, as you can see, I have got my Kevin Owens t-shirt on there, the Fight Owens fight t-shirt on in this video that I'm wearing, which I'm actually wearing over my, pajama top, over my PJ top. So, yeah, because it's, I've, changed in my pajamas and all that. But yeah, and also because it's, pretty, warm actually, having my pajamas on. And again, it doesn't really matter, but I thought I would just, make a mention of that. But yeah, but as always, guys, before I go even further, make sure, like I said, if you haven't already, to go and subscribe to my channel, as I said. And if you want to, again, check out my last upload I did, the last video I made, which was me doing my 1 year look back of when I went to WWE Live last year in the UK, in Birmingham. Then you can go on the channel and you can see that on there, because I uploaded that on, on Wednesday night after when I finished recording that video, well, the upload, and of course, again, going through the editing and just through the uploading, process, which again, always can take a while, but that is on my channel now, guys, so you can go back and you can see that video, on the channel now. And as well as, again, like I said, that I mentioned that I am going to be, seeing WWE Live again in 2023 in Birmingham as well, in the Utilita Arena again. So, but again, I'm not again here to try to, to talk too much about that. I am here again to discuss this Crown Jewel, event. And as I just said before, I do think that, it definitely seems a pretty decent, lineup, a pretty decent amount of matches. Because, I mean, this time last week, there was only like 5 matches, only about 5 matches that were announced, this time last week. But now there has been, 2 or 3 matches which have been added. And yeah, so there is now 8 matches in total. We have 8 matches for this year's WWE on Crown Jewel this year. So yeah, so, but like I said, I mean, definitely I think that there is like one match that I am, looking forward to out of all of the matches. But I mean, I'll just say there's solid matches on here. Like, I wouldn't say that anything stands out except for one match, I guess, which I'll go over that match, in a bit, but yeah, so in total there's 8 matches. So let's jump right in then, guys, into the first match then, which is Alexa Bliss, a tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And it is Alexa Bliss and Asuka who returned on Raw this past week. And they took on Damage Control, Dakota Kai and Io Sky. As they returned, they made their returns after being kayfabe ruled out with injuries. After being attacked by, Damage Control a couple of weeks back on Raw, which was leading into Bianca and Bayley's, ladder match at Extreme Rules. So they returned Alexa Bliss and Asuka to basically challenge Damage Control. They challenged them for the Women's Tag Team Championships on Raw this past week, and they defeated Damage Control in what was a surprise. They defeated Dakota Kai and Io Sky to become now 2-time women's tag team champions, I believe. Like, I believe this might be the second time, but I'm not that sure. But no, sorry, they haven't won them before. What am I on about? I'm sorry, guys, but yeah. So here now, obviously now this will be a rematch here, a straight up rematch for Damage Control for Dakota Kai and Io Sky against Alexa Bliss and Asuka. As we will see Bayley competing later on in the night against Bianca Belair again. But for this match here, I mean, like I said, as I just said, this whole kind of feud between, Bianca, Alexa, Asuka, and Damage Control has again lasted for, like I said, since, back in September now. So it has been, like I said, it has, gone on for over a month or so. But yeah, so in terms of my prediction on this match, I mean, again, it's a hard one to call because, I can't see like which way this match is going to go or how this, match is going to unfold or how, things will play out here this time around. But I think for my predictions, I think Alexa Bliss and Asuka are going to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. I think just because that they literally, again, only just won them. So I think that if they were to lose, I just think, again, that's going to be a bit of a weird, booking decision-wise. And I don't think Triple H would want to do that. Straight away to Alexa Bliss and Asuka when they literally again came back to Raw and they defeated Dakota Kai and Io Sky, like I said. So I think again it would just make sense, like I said, for Alexa and Asuka to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships here at Crown Jewel. And there we are with that match. But then swiftly on then into the next match then of the night then, guys. And that is the tag team match. Another again rematch here for the tag team. The undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match. And that is the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, or Jay and Jimmy, going up against the Brawling Brutes, Rich Holland and Butch, who are seeking revenge on the Bloodline after their beatdown and after an attack which the Bloodline did on the Brawling Brutes and taking out Sheamus when they attacked Sheamus on SmackDown about 2 weeks ago to leave Sheamus out with a kayfabe again, a kayfabe injury angle where they basically, used a steel chair. They did like a steel chair attack on Sheamus's arm, where they had his arm on the steel steps, and basically that I think it was one of the Usos that just took a steel chair to Sheamus's arm. So Sheamus here will not be involved at ringside. Well, won't be at ringside here with the Brawling Brutes in this match. So it is going to be interesting. But I think in terms of my prediction here on this match, that it does seem, I think again, that the Usos are going to retain here the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, because I still feel again that I can't see them, losing them here, at Crown Jewel over, the Brawling Brutes. Like I said, for as good as the Brawling Brutes have been, that I still think that they've been a good tag team, the Brawling Brutes, a good unit, because again they are all similar, but I just feel that again the Usos will continue still, will go on to retain, because especially again just with the stuff they have been doing, which again we will get more into into that again later on, but there we go. So I think the Usos will retain the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. And then after that, then guys, the next match of the night then is then yet again another rematch from Extreme Rules. Well, this one's a rematch from Extreme Rules, and that is Bianca Belair taking on Bayley. This time they are having a last woman standing match. That is for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. And again, upping again the stakes, again, and just continuing again this long-lasting, feud with Bianca Belair and Bayley, and just stepping it up to now a last woman standing match. And that surely again, this is going to be, Bayley's, last opportunity now that she probably is going to get, going after, Bianca here to get a title shot here against Bianca at Crown Jewel. So that I think that, this is definitely again, going to be, I think again, a fun last woman standing match here. I wouldn't say, like I said, that the ladder match which they had at Extreme Rules, it is going to blow, people away. But I think I can actually see this being, I think, like the best match though between Bianca Belair and Bayley. It's funny because it's like all the matches that they have had against each other have all been, like gimmick matches. Like they've all been basically, gimmick type, matches, because there was the Hell in a Cell match again, which they had last year in 2021 before Bayley's, injury, before she was injured. And then they were meant to again have that I Quit match at Money in the Bank last year as well. But because again of that injury, that again, that ruled, Bayley out of that they had to, change that. And then they had to, again, obviously, they had to scrap the plans until again when Bayley, came back at SummerSlam this year, again. So, and then obviously at Extreme Rules, they had that ladder match, the first ever women's, one-on-one women's ladder match. That was for a championship. So, and now again, they're going to be now having a last woman standing match. So, look, I do think that Bianca Belair and Bayley, they definitely have got a lot to be proud of. And I think most people will say that. I think that, they've had, again, like these different type of matches against each other, whether it's been inside the Hell in a Cell or the ladder match they had at Extreme Rules, and now they're having a last woman standing match here at Crown Jewel. So yeah, and there we go. So this has definitely again been one of, by far, I think, up there as one of the most personal, kind of like, well, basically again, it has been over a year, kind of a year long kind of story, really ongoing, story this between Bianca Belair and Bayley. So it, again, it has been, good that they've been able to have, kept this going, like I said, for over a year. But as I said, this is going to probably be the final match, the final ending, the final chapter in this, Bianca Belair and Bayley rivalry now. So with that being said, that for my prediction for this match, I think finally now is the time to give Bayley, I think, the Raw Women's Championship, because I just feel that, again, the other times, Bianca has had the better of Bayley now, and I just think that now, like, this could finally be, Bayley's opportunity now. I think that this can finally be when Bayley's going to win, the Raw Women's Championship, because I think they have been holding it off, to be fair. I think they have been, holding it off, kind of, since she came back at SummerSlam, like I said. So I do think it just makes sense here that I think Bayley is going to defeat Bianca Belair, and that Bayley will become now, I believe, a 3-time, or will it be a 2-time Raw Women's Champion? Because I don't know how many times that she has won it before, Bayley. I'm going to just have a quick look here. One time. No, she has only won the Raw Women's Championship only once. So there you go. But yeah, so that is my prediction there for that match. Is that Bayley is going to set to become a 2-time Raw Women's Champion, and that I think that she's going over Bianca Belair finally in this match. But Bianca again has had a good reign. Like I said, that has lasted, as I said, since when she defeated Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38. That was in April, so I still think again, she has had a good run, Bianca, through the stretch of 2022. Well, in this year in general. So there we go with that. So she can again still be happy of this reign, which she has had, Bianca. And yeah, so because she has again become established. I mean, she has very much established herself. And again, in with the likes of Bayley and Becky Lynch now, and Charlotte and the rest of them. So and Ronda Rousey. So there we go with that. And then moving on then to the next match of the night then, guys, and in what will be a battle of monsters and giants, as Braun Strowman is going to be squaring off against Omos here. Omos in a singles match. And obviously, again, with this match, it is, again, all about, like the height here and the weight. Well, just the overall scale here, the overall size of these two men here, and just having, again, like what they've said, like in the lead up to this match, that it is a monster going up against the giant, Strowman going up against Omos here. But I think this is a good match here for both these two. I mean, I agree that I think this is a good kind of, little feud here for Strowman since making his return, when he made his return in September. And that I think for Omos as well, it's good because I think that he kind of, fell a little bit. He has kind of, his whole kind of push got, kind of pushed back after when he lost to Bobby Lashley, earlier this year, when he had the feud with Lashley and all that going on. So that did kind of hurt, Omos's push to a degree. But I do think that for him as well, I think this is a good kind of, again, like just a good match for him to have here against Strowman. And that I think both these two are going to have a hard-hitting... It's definitely going to be a hard-hitting match. I mean, there's no doubt. And that, I mean, obviously, it's going to be interesting. But in terms of like my prediction here for this match, and I have seen that a lot of people are finding this match, to be a pretty hard one to predict here, because it could again go both ways. I mean, Braun Strowman here could win, Omos could win, but that I do think that maybe there could be like a screwy finish, or maybe like there'll be like a double count out, or maybe something like that is going to end in maybe a controversial finish, like a controversial ending here to keep both, Strowman and Omos, looking strong. Because I think that if Strowman here was to lose, obviously that is probably going to hurt Strowman. But then if Omos loses, I mean, that is obviously going to then hurt Omos's push again, and it's going to kind of, affect Omos then. So it is a tough one to book. I think again this is one of the only matches where this could be a tough one here to book, but I think regardless, I mean, it is going to be interesting to see, Braun Strowman, obviously trying to lift, Omos and all that, to see if he'll be able to give Omos a power slam. Well, giving him that, that power slam that he does, that running power slam to on Omos. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think if I did just have to give a straight up prediction, I'm going to say Strowman. I am going to probably say Strowman to win here. But there we go with that match. But again, I wouldn't say that I'm looking forward to this match, that I'm excited about this match. But that I think that definitely, I mean, it is definitely going to be... I do think that this is a good match, though, for both these two to have here. And I'm cool with this. Like, I am cool with Strowman and Omos here, feuding against each other, just because, again, that I think it is a good kind of feud for both of them, and a good, yeah, and it's happy all around, I think. So there we go with that match. And then the next match then of the night is then again going to be yet another rematch here that we are getting from Extreme Rules, and that is Drew McIntyre taking on Karrion Kross with Scarlett, but this time it will be a steel cage match inside of a steel cage, in the steel cage, so that basically that Drew McIntyre can try to keep that Scarlett from basically getting into the steel cage and all that, from interfering in the match. So it is going to be interesting again to see how this one is going to go this time. I mean, the match at Extreme Rules, I didn't watch the match at Extreme Rules, but from what I kind of saw from the reactions is that it wasn't like as good as maybe it should have been, but like I said, but perhaps, maybe it was just a tough one. I don't know. But definitely, I think that, this could be, like I said, the last match here between, like, Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross. The blow-off here to their, feud. And for Drew McIntyre to try and get, like, his revenge on Karrion Kross. So yeah, as Drew McIntyre again is, still of course, getting, is had this kind of whole situation going on with Karrion Kross. I mean, since like before Clash at the Castle and all that, and when Karrion Kross returned and and attacked her, assaulted like Drew McIntyre from behind. Back in August, I think that was now back at the end of August. So yeah. So in terms of my prediction on this match, that again, I mean, this is again another tough match here to book, really. But I do think that Drew McIntyre is going to somehow find a way to defeat Karrion Kross here in this steel cage match. Inside the steel cage, and yeah, so I'm just going to pick Drew McIntyre to beat Karrion Kross, and there we go with that match. And then after that match then, guys, we have then got then a 6-man tag team match then, as we have the return of the OC of AJ Styles, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, taking on the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, who will be with Rhea Ripley, who will have Rhea Ripley in their corner once again. And that, yes, and that this is going to be like the first time finally seeing the OC again back together in a six-man, tag team match, since when Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson returned on the 10th of October edition of Raw a few weeks ago, which again, that got, was a brilliant swerve, a really good swerve from AJ. From AJ Styles that he did there on Finn Balor on Raw a few weeks ago. And the build up here has actually been, I've actually found entertaining. I mean, the build up for this match has definitely been entertaining. The promos that the Judgment Day have done, and in particular, I mean, Dominic Mysterio, and the promos that he's cut as well, that he's done, has also been, pretty good in this, whole, again, heel persona and all that from Dominic. But the OC have a problem, and that is, as they said, the Rhea problem, which is what, could play in effect here, in this six-man tag team match between the OC and the Judgment Day. So it is going to be interesting to see, what the OC are going to do here, or whether they're going to have a surprise, up their sleeve, and whether they might have someone, taking out Ripley or something like that, because that Rhea Ripley has definitely caused problems for the OC. Well, for Luke Gallows especially. So it's going to be interesting, but I think again this is going to be a fun six-man tag team match here between the OC and the Judgment Day, and again seeing Finn Balor going up against, I mean, again, his old Bullet Club stable here, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. So yeah, and as I said, the Judgment Day have still been, like I said, they've, still just continued, their dominance on Raw, well, just getting better, I guess, with how that they've, again, been cutting their promos, and how well they've just been getting over. I think just how well they've done to get over, since, when Dominic, joined the Judgment Day. But yeah, so there we go with that. But in terms of my prediction on this match, that I do think that I am actually going to pick the OC here. I'm going to pick the OC is going to go over the Judgment Day, because I feel that somehow they might have a plan. I do think maybe that somebody might come out and maybe take out Rhea Ripley, but we'll have to wait and see. And it is again going to be interesting to see, like I said, if this is going to continue, after Crown Jewel, this rivalry with the OC and the Judgment Day, because again, with Survivor Series coming up, maybe that there might be another match there that they might have between these two stables, but we'll have to wait and see. But again, I think this is going to be an entertaining six-man tag team match, like I said, and this is one of the more matches that I think could be, like I said, entertaining at Crown Jewel. So there we go on that. And then the penultimate match then of WWE Crown Jewel, and in what is probably, like I said, the second sort of biggest match, or arguably the biggest match to take place at Crown Jewel, is a rematch from the Royal Rumble this year, going back to the Royal Rumble this year in January, which again I know is going back now. I mean, this is going back to the Royal Rumble, and that is getting the rematch of Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, the Beast. Brock Lesnar taking on the almighty Bobby Lashley, and to settle this kind of, like I said, this feud that has gotten more personal now that has gotten like personal between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley over the past few weeks after Brock Lesnar cost Bobby Lashley the United States Championship on Raw a few weeks ago, and losing the United States Championship to Seth Rollins after Lesnar's beatdown. Brock Lesnar, his beatdown on Bobby Lashley, and he gave him 2 F5s and then put Bobby Lashley in the Kimura lock to take out Lashley, which led to, again, Seth Rollins, coming down and taking out Bobby Lashley, being able to hit Lashley with a frog splash and pinning Lashley to win the United States Championship for the second time, Seth Rollins. But yeah, so that again then made Bobby Lashley pissed off, and that then the week after they basically had Lashley coming out and attacking Lesnar, and he put Brock Lesnar through the announce table, which was a pretty good spot as well. So so definitely I think the build up more for this match has just purely been like just Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, not being able to keep apart here. And I think again, I think this has had a more better build than what I guess their build-up had, for the Royal Rumble match. And that maybe I guess that perhaps maybe I did overhype their match at the Royal Rumble, maybe just a little bit. I think maybe I did overhype, their match at the Royal Rumble, because I wouldn't say that I was disappointed by their match at the Royal Rumble from what I can remember, but it was again still a good match. Their match at the Royal Rumble, was still pretty decent. But I think because of, the interference as well from Roman Reigns, because again, you did have Roman Reigns costing Brock Lesnar that match, which led to Bobby Lashley, defeating Brock Lesnar, and then becoming then. Becoming the WWE champion again. So that did again kind of spoil the outcome. Well, not spoil the outcome, but it just made Lesnar then more kind of weaker. So that this time, as I said, that this is just going to be straight up now. It's going to be straight up, and we are just going to see these two, like I said, just seeing, this time, what happens. And again, these two are again, we know what they're capable of. We know that they are two of the best again in terms of their, again, their UFC background, their MMA background, and all that. All that again, which we know with when it comes to Brock and to Bobby. So I know that, like I said, that hopefully this time, I do think this match is going to be more better, I think, than their match at the Royal Rumble. Even though that, again, this isn't, again, for a championship at all. There is no championship, on the line here. But I still think that this could have the potential to be better than their match at the Royal Rumble, on the Royal Rumble this year. So in terms of my prediction, for Brock and Bobby, part 2 here, for this rematch, that I think that it is pretty predictable, but I think Brock here is going to get, his win back here, the win back on Bobby Lashley this time around. I think Lesnar this time is going to go over Bobby Lashley because of what happened, back at the Royal Rumble. That, and plus also because don't forget that Brock Lesnar again did lose the last man standing match to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, which again, that was the last time, again, the last big match, which Lesnar came off the back of losing to Roman again in that that crazy last man standing match. Where he lifted up the ring again with that forklift, with that, that tractor and that. So yeah, but so I just think that because of that, I do think Brock here this time, is going to defeat Bobby Lashley, and that he's going to get his revenge on Bobby Lashley here. But as I said again, I think this is just going to be, like I said, a good match here between these two, and I think I'm more, I think this time around, I think they are going to have a really good match. I think this match, will be better than their match at the Royal Rumble. And we'll just see. I mean, we'll wait and see. But and hopefully it will be like quite a fast-paced sort of match. So, and there we go with that. And then finally then, guys, moving on to what is the main event then. The main event of WWE, headlining this WWE Crown Jewel this year for 2022. And that is the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul in a singles match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And I have again been talking about this match now over the past few weeks, and that again, I've not been, honestly that bothered about Logan Paul. I mean, getting this title shot here against Roman Reigns, but it's like what I've said. Well, it's as I've kind of agreed with what other people, well, not agreed, but like I still feel that, that you're having like Logan Paul, who's only had like 2 matches, and he's getting this match here against Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, when you had Roman Reigns defeat Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. And I just think, I don't know, just something again doesn't quite, seem right with having Logan Paul here, in this spot. But I get it. I mean, they want to try and, make Crown Jewel a big event. They want to get, an appeal here. They want to get a big money match, which, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Roman Reigns and Logan Paul has been a big draw in terms of like, for social media and all that on social on the social media side of things, and with the casual, I guess, kind of, fans who probably, like I said, who probably follow like Logan Paul on his YouTube channel and things, on YouTube, like again, like what we do. But yeah, but at the same time, and I will say that, I mean, Logan Paul, I mean, he has again been trying to put the work in. I mean, you can kind of see, because I basically watched the other week, I did watch his Impulsive podcast, actually. I did actually see last week he did a podcast with Shawn Michaels. He had Shawn Michaels on that. And he did actually say, Logan Paul, that, he has been working hard, that he has been trying to put like the effort in and things like that. So I can't again say that he hasn't again put in the effort, Logan Paul, that he's not tried to put hard work in and things like that. But I don't know. I'm just not sure with Logan Paul here, but the whole thing, the best part of this, going into this match here with Roman Reigns and Logan Paul, has again been the stuff that has been going on with the Bloodline, with the Usos and Sami Zayn. With Jey Uso and Sami Zayn in particular. And you know what I'm alluding to. Again, like that promo where the Bloodline, where Sami Zayn broke the Bloodline by saying Usi, and the Bloodline just cracking up, just Roman Reigns being cracked, Jey Uso nearly cracking, and Jimmy cracking. It was just, it was definitely, again, by far one of the funniest, one of the most entertaining things I have seen in WWE for a while. Um, and just, yeah, it just really, really was funny. So, again, if you haven't checked that out still, which, again, if you haven't seen that whole promo with the Bloodline on SmackDown last week, I mean, go and check it out. Just, again, check that out because, I mean, if you want to see Sami Zayn being gold, well, if you just want to see Sami Zayn breaking the Bloodline, just go and watch that promo. Go and see that segment because it was just hilarious. It was funny. I mean, again, it's not supposed to be funny, but like, but yeah, I mean, and that has again really been like the best kind of thing that has gone into this match really with Roman Reigns and Logan Paul. So yeah, but when it comes down though, guys, to giving my prediction for this match, that I do think Roman Reigns is going to retain the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, guys. And if Logan Paul wins, I am going to be shocked. I think if he can pull off, like, arguably the biggest upset here and defeat Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, then I'm going to be shocked. And literally, I mean, I won't know probably what to say. I don't think anyone will probably know what to say. But I think that would be a weird move. I would really think that would be a weird move, though, if WWE did that. So, you know, especially, again, as I said again, and it would just send a bad taste. I just think, again, the way that Drew, you know, got screwed over at Clash at the Castle by losing to Roman Reigns, that if Logan Paul here became the one to defeat Roman Reigns here at Crown Jewel, I just think, again, it sends a bad vibe. It just doesn't sit right with me. And that's the thing. Like, I don't, again, dislike Logan Paul. As I've mentioned, he has, you know, slowly kind of changed my mind on him. I guess from seeing that he is trying again to take, you know, WWE seriously. You know, he has again, you know, been putting in again the training and all that, you know, off camera and things like that. But it just wouldn't again sit right with me if Logan Paul, you know, did become, you know, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion and defeating, as I said right now, the greatest, you know, modern day, like, WWE champion of all time. It you know, the GOAT, the modern GOAT right now in WWE and in pro wrestling in general. So, and again, and with what, you know, the Bloodline has been doing in these past like few weeks as well, like, they have again been the best thing of this, you know, feud really. I mean, the stuff with Roman Reigns and Logan Paul on the mic hasn't really been, you know, that kind of interesting, but just the stuff in general with the Bloodline has been entertaining. And like Sami Zayn again, as I said, has been like, as just did again definitely bring like you know, fresh air. Just definitely brought in a more, you know, just made this build up more fun going into this match. So there we go with that. But as I said, in terms of my, you know, giving a prediction, I think Roman Reigns is going to retain the undisputed WWE Universal Championship and will walk out of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, as your undisputed WWE Universal Champion to carry on again that run. And again, going into Survivor Series in a few weeks' time, in just over 2 weeks, in a little over 2 weeks. So, yeah. But that there, guys, is it. There for my WWE Crown Jewel 2022 premium live event preview and predictions, guys. So as always, make sure that at the end of this video again, guys, that you click and subscribe to my channel again to check out the content, my content and that, as always. And just keep on again, guys, you know, doing what you're doing. Just keep on again, you know, checking my videos out, liking, you know, just anything really that is related to WWE or wrestling in general, AEW. And I will be back on here in my next video to give a quick thoughts video on Crown Jewel, which is probably going to be on Wednesday next week. So yeah, so I think I will do a quick kind of thoughts video on Crown Jewel, but it isn't going to be a review. It's not going to be like this. It will be like more again, like about a 10-minute, 15-minute, you know, video, a 15-minute upload. Well, you know, a shorter one then compared to what I've done here in this preview and all that for Crown Jewel. So, yeah. So, thank you again, guys, for tuning in. I will catch you in a bit, guys. And this is Wrestling Fan for Life 98 signing off on the channel. Peace.